I was ordained as a single man. And I remained unmarried and childless, unmarried for 20 of those first years of my priestly ministry, and childless for 21 years of those first years of my priestly ministry. And from time to time, brothers and sisters would say to me, and servants would say to me, you know, you really can't understand what it's like to be married. And you know, you really can't understand what it's like to raise children. And as much as I didn't like to hear that, there's an element of truth in that. But let's take it a step further. I'm a white male living in the United States of America. I don't know what it's like to be black living in America. I am a heterosexual. I don't know what it's like to be gay. By the grace of God, I live above the poverty line. I don't know what it's like to be poor. Also, by the grace of God, I've enjoyed a relatively healthy life. I don't know what it means to live in chronic pain. The chief apostle talked in the Pentecost service about all the gaps that could separate us. And brothers and sisters, any gap that separates us from the unity that the Lord wants for us, is evil, because it is contrary to his will and it's contrary to his goal and his desire. And he mentioned some very, very specific. He talked about the gaps between age and the gaps between gender and the gaps between culture and the gaps between sexual orientation. And he could have talked about the gaps between social and economic status. He could have talked about the gaps between ethnicity. He could have talked about the gaps that exist between race. The evil one takes what is good, and now I'm saying the evil one being Satan. The evil one takes what God has created, as different and diverse as we are, and what God meant for good, Satan tries to make for evil. And let's not kid ourselves, brothers and sisters. The evil one will do anything that he can to separate us and divide us. He will. He is not afraid to stoop that low. And if he can pick us apart because of our outward differences, just like the congregations that Peter was writing to in this epistle, he was writing to those who were dispersed. They had been dispersed from Jerusalem because they were persecuted, and they were dispersed throughout Asia Minor, and they were comprised of different social classes and different cultures and different kinds of people. They weren't all the same, and they were being persecuted. And Peter was telling them, don't repay evil for evil. Don't let evil change you into becoming evil. Be holy. Be like the Lord.